What's up, beautiful people? Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we are here. We're live on YouTube. I'm about to actually get the Instagram, folks. We're going to go live. Today, we're going to preview tomorrow's game. We got a game tomorrow, 49ers, Vikings Preseason Game 2, and I couldn't be happier because another game is upon us. It's good times. It's exciting. We have a game tomorrow, and then a game next week, and then a little break in between 2 weeks, and then the regular season's here. I'm excited. So shout out to everybody. What's up, everybody? Bang, bang, Nana gang. Enjoying the day. I hope everybody is. We're here. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram. We're going to do what we got to do. We're going to preview the game. If you hop on YouTube, we'll answer questions. What's up, everybody in the chat? My man, Senior Hyphy, my man, Raphael. And I appreciate everybody on Instagram. I just want to say real quick, thank you to everybody. We hit 3K subscribers on YouTube. Shout out to y'all. Let's go, man. We running it up. We getting big time. And I wore the Street Fighter shirt today. Again, compliments. Yesterday, we talked about the Target drip, the Biggie shirt. So I think I'm going to wear another Target shirt today because they hooked me up. And I'm going to try to get that Target sponsorship. Let's go. I'm going to wear a Target shirt almost every day now. Let's run it up. We got 3K subscribers. So thank you to everybody. I'm going to try to get that Target sponsorship. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get that Target sponsorship. How's everybody doing? My man says he's out on his lunch. Perfect timing. That's what we're talking about. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We just keep pushing. But let's get into it. We got a game tomorrow, man, and I'm excited. There's going to be certain players that we look forward to seeing. I want to break it down. We're going to talk about some questions and get right into it. But there was something last night before I get into the game tomorrow's game. This has been on my mind like all day. We talked about it a little bit. I was talking with the quad box last night, Smitty and C-Mac and Vlad. And I don't know if you guys watched the Seahawks game last night. They got, they lost. They sucked. They looked bad. This is a preseason game. But I don't know if anybody noticed, but Eric Davis, the Niner legend, Eric Davis was on the sidelines for the Seahawks. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see Eric Davis on the sideline yesterday? I haven't heard from him. I've messaged him like in the last couple of weeks. He kind of ghosted the quad box. I need answers. I need to know. I didn't hear of any job offer or I never heard that he got a coaching position. So I need answers. I was a little bit freaked out. I was like, why is Eric Davis on the Seahawks sideline? So this is something I'm kind of keeping my eye on. I don't know. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was little weird. It was Eric Davis for sure, 100%. I messaged him. I don't know. I didn't check his Twitter today. I need someone to check if he texted. It's Friday, fool. That's like his weekly text or message on Twitter. I don't know if he's done it yet, but I was like, what? I need him live to answer the questions because I have a lot of questions now. It was a little weird. But anyways, I don't know if you guys saw that. There's questions about Trey and the Vikings. So let's get right into tomorrow's game. No starters will play. Trey Lance is not going to play. He's not expected to play tomorrow. It's mainly a day to see the backups, the rookies, the players on the bubble, because they do have another roster cut on Tuesday. They got to trim it down five players. So this is nitty-gritty time. This is the time to see these backups. These are the backups that we're going to have to really see. So we're going to get a lot of Brock Purdy. We're going to get a lot of Nate Sudfeld. Nate Sudfeld and Brock Purdy, those two guys, we got to see if they're both going to make the roster. Is Kyle going to keep three quarterbacks? If Purdy plays really good, you might want to keep three quarterbacks, right? Just for depth in case of an injury. Nate Sudfeld, he's carrying a $2 million contract cost, so he's got to come out and continue to do well. He had a good game last week against the Packers. I felt that Nate Sudfeld looked good. He looks like he's a pretty nice backup quarterback. So I like this little quarterback room that we're developing. So definitely have to keep an eye on Sudfeld and Brock Purdy. No Trey Lance, but he did get a lot of reps against the Vikings, the first teams in joint practices. So he got a lot of opportunities to learn and develop this week at joint practice. So I'm not too worried that Trey's not going to be, starting on Saturday against the Vikings. He got a lot of work this week on one-on-ones and team drills and the scrimmages against the Vikings. We need to see who's going to be, able to stay on this roster quarterback-wise with Sudfeld and Purdy. So that's something to look at the moment with this game. My man, let's see. I'm going to take a look at these comments. Marco, what's up? 49ers dog. He says, I saw that talking about Eric Davis. Myro says he did text, it's Friday, fool. So Eric Davis is alive and tweeting the normal. But I need to get to the bottom of this. 49er Dog says, I hope Danny Gray balls out again. I do too. That's something that we got to take a look at. We're going to talk about the rookies. My man, 49er Media says, what's up, Raj? What's up, baby boy? How you doing? Appreciate you, man. My man Lennox is over here on Instagram. What's up, Lennox? What's up, Raj? How we doing? VZ, what's good? Fantasy Couch says, I have one important question. I sent a request. What is your question, Fantasy Couch? What's up, man? What is the question, 49ers Couch? Drop the question. I didn't see. Oh, you want to go live with me? We're doing a little bit of a show, but I'll top you. Let's get Fantasy Couch. He's gonna tap in live with me on Instagram. We're gonna bring him in, and then I'll go back to previewing the game. So let's get him in real quick. Let's see what he wants. Let's get my boy Fantasy Couch in here. We'll bring him in. He's coming in on YouTube, or sorry, Instagram. We'll see what he's got to say. What's up, my man?
Bro, I got an important question, and I need a guy who's not Smitty, and I need a guy who's not, I need a sensible Niner guy to tell me, because I'm a huge Danny Gray fan.
Okay.
I'm a believer, but I need to know what's the realistic scenario? Is this guy gonna get some real playing time this year? Because he looks so talented to me. I'm drafting him in Dynasty. What are your sensible thoughts?
Good question. So I definitely think he's a good
realistic thoughts.
I think he's definitely a good Dynasty player, but the thing with Shanahan, more than me and you are Niner fans. So the question to everybody is Danny Gray, what are the thoughts on Danny Gray? Is he serviceable as a fantasy guy, right? Kyle Shanahan and rookies don't always see eye to eye, but it looks like he's developing that trust, right, with not only Kyle, but with Trey Lance. And I think if you really think about it, you look at all the players on this roster. You got Debo, you got Kittle, you got Ayuk, you got Jennings, you got all the running backs. At some point, those guys are going to be covered. If Danny Gray is consistently getting covered by a third-string quarterback, he's going to dust them a lot, all the time, like he did in the preseason. He's been doing it in joint practice. I think he's going to get opportunities. He's going to get a lot of deep plays, and it's a guy that you stash. I think he'll have some big plays here and there, but will he get consistent volume? That's the big question. I don't think he's going to get a lot of opportunities early on. Now, if there's an injury, that's the guy that you're going to sit there and say, oh, man, I can't believe I have Danny Gray, because if there's an injury on the Niners roster, he shoots up that depth chart fast, super fast. So that's a guy is worth stashing. You can get him late. Nobody knows who Danny Gray is unless you're a Niner fan. And I absolutely think that he will get some opportunities, even in the regular season, because he's catching on. And the thing is, him and Trey Lance are building chemistry, and that's what matters. If Trey's going through his progressions, which he has been, he's going to find this guy. And he is not afraid to throw it deep. That's something the Niners haven't been able to do over the last couple of years. And I think Danny Gray, there's going to be some times where he's wide open and Trey has to throw it to him. So I honestly think that he's going to get some opportunities more than a lot of people would think. But I think his opportunities are going to be limited, and he has to make the most of those opportunities, because if he doesn't, and Kyle Shanahan is going to throw him in the doghouse, because Shanahan's tough on rookies, and you have to continue to impress Shanahan, because he's tough love. If you do good, he wants you to continue to do better and do better and do better. And then there's going to be times where, okay, Danny Gray, he might get slotted up against a top-tier cornerback, like a number 1 or a number 2. If he starts to do good, they're going to put a harder guy on him. But then that's going to open it up for other guys, right? Debo and things like that. So to answer your question, I think Danny Gray is definitely a good stash player. Keep him. And if there's an injury, big-time stock upgrade.
Yeah, so what you're saying was the Niners' offense is stacked.
Yeah.
Lance can score a rushing touchdown. The running back's going to get used a lot. Kittle is a stud, and he can run deep. Also, Ayuk's looking really good. Debo's a stud and versatile. So I get it. One thing I want to add, though, what's funny is that a lot of this is a small thing, but it's a lot a misnomer. It's kind of hate. A lot of people would ask, what kind of coach is Shanahan? What's his style? People would answer West Coast, and I'm gonna say No, he doesn't have a style.
No.
He just, whatever is good, whatever is going to just absolutely destroy the defense and put pressure on them. And I always like to put myself in other people's shoes. And I was like, man, if I was Shanahan, I'd want a vertical threat. Now, well, I guess he doesn't want one. I was like, I want it for every year. I say the same thing. And so when I saw that they got Danny Gray, you know, I also like Tyquan Thornton on the Patriots. I think he's underrated as well as a great deep there. And I saw they got Danny Gray. I'm like, oh boy, watch out. It's going to open everything. Everyone's versatile, and they finally got their vertical threat. So, I mean, I'm excited as a Niner fan, but I wanted your fantasy take. And, I guess that makes sense. He's going to be good, but, you know, he's like the 6th or 5th option.
But he's going. He can. But he can rise up real quick. Like the thing with Danny Gray is, I think he can rise up that depth chart pretty quick with his ability. And again, they haven't had this deep threat. And then Danny Gray, this is a guy we have to keep an eye on all season. Again, his chemistry with Lance is impressive because you have a whole new quarterback. It's the quarterback's decision to see who he's comfortable with. We know him and Ayuk have that chemistry. It seems like him and Danny Gray have really good chemistry. So even if Debo and all these guys are great, they're going to get the ball because Kyle schemes it. But if Trey has a good chemistry with Danny Gray and he knows he's going to be a certain place on a certain play because he knows the route, it's just going to open him up and he's going to get bigger opportunities. So it really depends on how he develops with Trey, how much trust that Shanahan has. And he's a run-first guy. Right, he's going to run first, but he gets so creative. He looks at the film and he says, okay, these are plays that are going to use this week that can beat this team. And he doesn't have the same plays every week. He changes. He has adaptations, but then there's certain plays that he knows are going to work against the team. But you got to execute everything right and make sure you don't make mistakes. But good question. I didn't want to touch on Danny Gray, but we got to it earlier than I wanted to. And I think that's a guy that we have to keep on. We got to keep a big eye on him this week because it's preseason game. Rookies are a big, stock up for preseason games. You have to really keep an eye on these guys. And this is one of the guys I wrote in my notes is I'm keeping a big eye on Danny Gray because he impressed in the joint practices. He impressed during the Green Bay game. His stock is rising very fast. So keep an eye on this guy.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I've been dying to ask you this question. I needed your opinion. I'm drafting this guy in best ball. I'm drafting him in Dynasty, and I'm drafting him in, there's a new thing. It's called Best Ball Dynasty. So I'm drafting Danny Gray in all those leagues.
That's right.
I absolutely love it. All right, bro.
Hey, take care. Appreciate the question. No doubt, man. All right, Danny Gray, man, to the moon. Him and Lance are really opening up. Let's get to some more questions over here on YouTube. Smash that like button. That's right. Smash that like button for Kobe. Been following this dude from the beginning on IG. Appreciate the love. Debbie says, hi, Raj. Excited for tomorrow's game. You know the vibes. We're so excited. Jesus says, so glad the 49ers drafted Danny Gray. Been high on him since before the draft. What a player, man. This guy is the deep threat the Niners have needed on this offense, but they couldn't utilize that vertical passing game. And now it's going to open everything up, like Fantasy Couch said. You pass it deep, they have to respect the deep ball. And then if they're playing deep, you're going to hit them over the middle with Debo and Kittle. And then if they play the middle, you can run the ball with everybody that they have. So offense is going to be electric. Danny Gray is a big piece that I don't think people realize right now. This man's deep ability downfield is going to be so much fun. With Trey Lance has a cannon attached to his arm. It's just like a cannon. Fun. So, yeah, no starters. This is going to be a good showcase for the rookies this weekend. You got Danny Gray, which we talked about. We said Nate Sudfeld and Brock Purdy. They both had impressive week ones. They need to continue to build upon it. If Purdy plays good this weekend, I think he makes the case of saying, I can be on this final 53-man roster, and Kyle can keep 3 quarterbacks. That's a big development here, right? Will he keep 3 quarterbacks? Who knows? But I think if Purdy plays good enough, if he plays Purdy good, he can make the 53-man roster. So, Trey Gray all day. My man, Viking Nations, what's up, brother? He's on Instagram. Viking Nations is a fellow He's a fellow fan page. He runs Vikings page on Instagram. We talked a little bit this week. Went back and forth on the trash talk when our players were doing good in training camp. So, good dude. Best of luck to you on Saturday. But I hope we have a little bit better luck and get the dub. But good dude. It's always cool to chop it up with the fellow fan pages of other teams. That's something I want to do this year now, is actually reach out to all the fan pages that we play. So like when we play Seattle, I want to go live and chop it up with one of the Seattle pages. When we play the Rams, talk to the Rams fan page. I think that's good. Build a community and just keep on, getting more people to talk to. So I'm going to be looking into that this year. Every week, I'm going to try to get a rival fan page to go live with me, and we're going to chop it up. We're going to do a game preview like that every week. Preseason, it is fun, and I've been seeing a lot of these fan pages. It's cool, man. I've been following some for a couple of years, and they've always said, yo, let's collab. And now I realize we can actually collab this way when we go and talk to each other. So shout out to Viking Nations. Good idea, right? It's pretty fun. We're going to be doing that all season. Jesus says, so Nate and Brock 2 quarters each tomorrow. I actually think that you're probably going to see an even split of both quarterbacks. I think first half you see Nate, second half you see Brock Purdy. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the way they split it. So I think that's the way to do it. Mr. Mike Swag, what's up? Longtime follower. I know the vibe. He says, what's up? You all already know Trey is going to have some struggles, but I feel like our defense is so incredible. You're going to be able to make up for however much Trey struggles. This defense is elite. Nick Bosa, this man's primed for a monster year, like defensive player of the year kind of vibes. Javon Kinlaw, man, this guy looks absolutely incredible. He looks even in better shape. If he can stay healthy and get to the quarterback and provide double team, and get double team, take pressure off of Bosa, it's going to let Arik Armstead, it's going to let Nick Bosa do his thing, Drake Jackson, the rookie, and everybody else on this D-line. You got the best linebackers in the league, Fred Warner, Aziz, and Dre. And that secondary is beautiful. That secondary is so good, man. I'm absolutely impressed by this defense. It might be one of the best defenses we've seen in a long time. They got to stay healthy right now. There's some injuries. Jimmy Ward, Emmanuel Mosley, Trivarius Ward. Those are kind of concerning right now, but it's still early. If they're healthy, it's going to be hard to stop this team, and I love it, man. Absolutely incredible how this defense is so good. This defense, man. You see Nick Bosa in joint practice yesterday? I wouldn't even want to mess with you. Like, this is crazy. It's crazy how good this defense is going to be. In D-line, any one of these guys on this D-line can start for another team. That's how good depth we have. Like, if we cut someone on this roster, which we're going to have to, unfortunately, anybody on this D-line can start for another team. It's so crazy, man, how good this defense is going to be. And it's going to help Trey. It's going to help this offense. It's going to put them in good field position, and it's going to just set up this team to be amazing. If you have a stout defense, teams are going to get tired. You're going to wear them down, and it's going to make it easier for your offense. So very good point, my man. Very good point. Speaking of defense, we need to look at some of these rookie cornerbacks because we know Emmanuel Mosley is not going to be there. We know Trivarius Ward, none of the starters. But there's 2 guys that have been, showing up. Actually, 3. You got my man, Quantrez Knight, undrafted cornerback out of UCLA. He has been rising up. Keep an eye on him this week. And, of course, Sam Womack. That's a guy that we've been kind of hyping up over the last couple weeks in training camp. He had a hell of a debut. And then Diamador Lenore has been looking pretty good in training camp. He had some solid reps against Justin Jefferson. Looks good. I'm telling you what, this Quantrez Knight, let's talk about Quantrez Knight because I wrote a lot about him. Undrafted out of UCLA. He was one of the stars, little gem out of joint practices. I was reading Matt Mayoko, and he says he had a PBU, a sack, and an interception. This guy played safety. They moved him to safety. He's a cornerback, but he played safety because Jimmy Ward and Dante Johnson are hurt. So he played safety. But he's versatile enough. He was in the mix to play nickel corner. They cut Darkus Denard, and they got Sam Womack and this Quantrez Knight guy. This guy's physical. In 30 games, in his last 3 years, he had 23.5 tackles for loss and 5 sacks. That sounds like K'Wan Williams type of vibe, right? This guy could be another nickel corner because they love to blitz off that nickel corner spot, the Niners being they. This is a gem. If he plays good this weekend, he might just make his way onto the 53-man roster. Because if he plays good and they cut him, somebody will snag him up. Somebody might snag this guy up. And they would, like the Seahawks If we cut this Quantrez Knight guy, they will be so fast in the waiver wire to steal this guy. I think Quantrez Knight is a little bit of a diamond in the rough. So keep an eye on him watching this game this weekend. I'm going to have my eye centered on Quantrez Knight and Sam Womack. I really like this guy. He's physical. I saw him make some plays during last week's game. I rewatched the game, and then I was watching some highlights from training camp. He looked good. From open practices. I think this guy's a riser, a little bit of a gem. Everybody's been talking about him at training camp, open practices. So this is a guy we should keep an eye on. I mean, you cut Darkish Denard, there's got to be a reason. We all know Sam Womack, who impressed, but this Quantrez Knight guy might be the guy that rises out, and nobody heard of. He's an undrafted guy. So we'll see. Quantrez Knight, that's what we're talking about. My man Torian, so Trey not playing. No, the starters aren't playing this weekend. Trey gets a little bit of a break. He did play joint practices 2 days in a row against the Vikings, so he doesn't need to play. Let's see. 49er Dog says Peters is the man. Adam Peters is the man. Do you see the talent he gets late 7th round picks, 6th round picks, 5th round picks, undrafted? Very true statement. Adam Peters is a man. The day we lose Adam Peters is the day I sit here and cry because I don't know if we're going to be able to draft as well. Adam Peters is a legend at drafting, man. It's unbelievable how good he is. ECDNM says, hot take, Bosa breaks the sack record. I don't know if it's even a hot take. Nick Bosa's coming in for blood. He's in the best shape of his life. You got Arik Armstead in there. All that depth at the line. Drake Jackson, Samson Ebicam, Charles Omenihu. You got Javon Kinlaw. So many big dogs. Willis out there, right? They have so much. Kerry Hyder's on that line. Kamiko Torre. That guy's a freaking stud. The D-line depth is so good. I don't think it's a hot take that Nick Bosa breaks the sack record. I don't know. You guys tell me on YouTube. You think Nick Bosa breaks the sack record? Y'all let me know on Instagram. Is Nick Bosa going to break the sack record? I wouldn't be surprised if he does. He looks like it's crazy how he's in the best shape of his life. This guy is so freaking muscular. Like, you see the striations on him on the pictures. It's crazy. This guy is the most physical specimen in the league. He's entering the prime of his career. Fucking crazy. Crazy. The Slasher Gamer. What's up, man? How you doing? Big time supporter. I know the vibes. He says, watching Trent on brick by brick gives me more hope with the O-line. He won't let them fail. You know, I said this a couple months ago. I said, I don't think Trent is going to let them fail. He's such a leader. He's such a leader. He's going to teach these guys. He's not going to let them fail. He's such a good captain on that line. Like, he taught Spencer Burford a lot this offseason. You know, when I talked with him, he says that Trent sat him down, and every day they would train. Poe also. He taught Poe a lot of the stuff that, he's been implementing into the season. So he's going to take these guys and really make sure that they're having a successful season. And Aaron Banks, right? He's on the left side with Trent Williams. Aaron Banks is learning a lot from Trent Williams, and I think that is so good to have Banks right next to Trent Williams. It's so amazing to see, that type of support. To have a guy like Trent Williams right next to you, it makes your job a little bit easier. Trent Williams is the man. 49er Dog says, when is Jalen Moore coming back? There's no timetable. Hopefully he's back by the start of the season because this is a critical part. And that's another thing I wrote down in my notes is we have to assess the offensive line situation, specifically that swing tackle spot, right? Mike McGlinchey's dealing with the knee injury. Will he be able to come back start of the season healthy? We hope so. But if not, we need to see who the hell is going to play that right tackle spot. We've been talking about this for days. I don't think it's Colton McKivitz. Don't play him at tackle. Jordan Mills, give him some opportunities. Let's see if Jordan Mills can make it. Because if Jalen Moore's not healthy, you're in trouble. Spencer Burford could play tackle, but he's been playing right guard. You don't want to keep messing up with the rookie and changing him around. Let him focus there. Dan Brunskill could probably play tackle or guard, but he's hurt too. So somebody's got to suit up and step up, play that right tackle spot. I really want to see Jordan Mills play right tackle this week and see what it can do. I'm a little scared to see Justin Skule out there again this weekend. He better redeem himself. If Justin Skule has a bad weekend on Saturday, he will be cut. I'm predicting right now. He will be cut on Monday or Tuesday when they have to get those cuts in. Justin Skule, the time is ticking. You're on the clock. And I'm sorry, you got to show up this weekend, or you gone. He gone. He gone. Let's see. Trey had a very bad practice, completed less than half his throws, or is that old news? That's old news, man. He's fine. If you look at the second half of his training camp, everything's improved. Completion percentage is improved. And it's practice. You're supposed to make mistakes. This is where you learn from. Overall, he's had a good kind of last several practices compared to the first half. And that's what you do. You're supposed to get better. That's the situation. Rookies, we talked about the rookies. They shined last week, right? I want to see these guys have another encore. Like we talked about Womack, we talked about Danny Gray. Can we talk about Drake Jackson? This guy looked so nice last week. Absolutely incredible last week. I mean, Drake Jackson showed a lot of his athleticism, the bend. You know, he was able to flex through that corner. But I want to see him finish. I want to see him get some sacks this week. Drake Jackson, you know, he was playing good until that shoulder stinger, but he came back. He's healthy. He's good. This is a guy, I think Drake Jackson's going to get a lot of work. He's going to get an extensive showcase this weekend, I think. And I'm excited to see Drake Jackson kind of star this weekend on that line. I think he's going to have a hell of a game. I think we're going to be excited after Saturday and say, oh, Drake Jackson, man. Can you believe we got bots on YouTube now? I can't escape the bots anywhere. I got them on YouTube. We got them on Instagram. Robot Raj, I'm not a bot. Leave me alone. Oh, man. What about the other Jalen Hurd? I haven't heard about that man since the Niners cut him last year. Prayers up. Hopefully he's doing okay. I'm sure he's you know, in a dark place, but I hope he's okay. That man went through a lot of injuries. It's the first time I heard that name dropped in a long time. Hope he's okay. He went through a lot of, you know, injuries. Feel bad for the guy. Appreciate y'all like the Street Fighter shirt. Shout out to Target. Shout out to Target for keeping me fresh with the nice drip. Yo, shout out to Target. Give me the sponsorship. I need the Target sponsorship. Don't you think? Let's get a Target sponsorship. Who to watch for this game? That's what we're talking about. We talked about the quarterbacks, talk about Quantrez Knight, talk about Danny Gray, Sam Womack, Drake Jackson. We also have to talk about the running back situation. TDP, Jordan Mason, they both looked very good, right? They looked good this week or last week. I think they're going to continue to get a lot of carries because the running back room is pretty deep, right? Shanahan loves to have running backs. They need depth. Everybody got hurt last year and the year before, so they need to make sure these guys are the right guys to step in and make the roster. You got TDP, the rookie they took in the third round. I think he's going to get, you know, a good amount of work. Can he kind of break out this week and separate himself from the pack? I hope. Then you got Jordan Mason, the undrafted guy. He looked shifty last week, and I hope if Jordan Mason has a monster week this week, you can't cut the guy because if you cut him, someone's taking him. You cannot cut Jordan Mason if he has a big-time game this weekend because if you do, like I said, Seahawks are lurking, the Rams are lurking, somebody's lurking. And then will Hasty continue to be a preseason warrior? I know you guys love Jermichael Hasty. Can he continue? If Jermichael Hasty has another game, Kyle Shanahan loves this guy. He might stick to the roster. His running back situation is crazy. You know, it's a competition. It's a battle. They're all jockeying for position. And then you got Jeff Wilson Jr. Last week he missed the game due to personal reasons. He should be the running back one this week. Elijah Mitchell's, you know, nursing the hamstring injury. I don't know. Maybe Jeff Wilson kind of gets in there and shows what he can do. All these guys are battling for a spot, though. And I don't know if Trey Sermon's going to get a chance to play. There's been speculation that he's, you know, nursing some injury. I don't know. Nobody's really spoke on it. Just speculation. Trey Sermon's a guy that needs a big performance this week. I hope he plays because last week he didn't look too hot. So I think Trey Sermon needs to come in, step up, and show, you know, what he can do. Again, you have guys like TDP and Jordan Mason applying pressure. They're proving that they can make this roster. They look good in camp. They look good in the game so far. Those two guys, we have to continue to, you know, see if they can continue the progression they've made, the development. Because if you have TDP and Jordan Mason and they've continuously looked good, and you cut one of them, it's not. They're not going to make waiver. They're not going to clear waivers and you're not going to be able to stash him on the practice squad. Running back, Kyle Shanahan just does too good of a job finding talent. You know what I mean? No matter who we cut, they can start on another team. That's how good our running backs are. They can start for any other team. So these guys have an opportunity to steal the show. And I'm specifically looking for Jordan Mason. I think Jordan Mason is going to have a just dominating game tomorrow. I have this feeling that Jordan Mason is going to have a big long run, touchdown, and we're going to be like, oh my God, Jordan Mason, you can't cut this guy. Like, I think tomorrow, preseason warrior, Jordan Mason. It's my prediction. Kinlaw looking like the best shape ever. Kinlaw came out of a lab. He came out of a lab looking like the Incredible Hulk. Did you see him walking on the field yesterday? There was a picture, or there was a video, and then the picture where he just looks like an Incredible Hulk walking down the field with his shirt off. Looked like the Incredible Hulk. Javon Kinlaw looking like a monster. Absolute monster. 49er Jeff says, I'd be surprised if he makes the team. Sermon, that is. Oh, bold. Hot take. Do you guys think Sermon is in jeopardy to lose his job? I don't think so. I think Trey Sermon makes the team. That's a hot take. I don't know. What do you guys feel about that? Do you think that 49er Jeff is right in saying that Trey Sermon might not make the roster? The Incredible Kinlaw. I like it. I don't think so. I think Trey Sermon still makes the team. I know he's kind of having an up and down start, but I think he still makes the spicy today, Jeff. I don't know. Dreadhead David says, just sub, bang, bang, bong, go 9. Yes, sir. Appreciate the sub. Let's see. I want to see Poe and Mason, Red Fog. Yeah. Those guys look good. Those are two undrafted guys that have become important players to this team so far. Like, if Jason Poe and Jordan Mason make this roster and they were undrafted, that would be an incredible story right there. Those two guys have been solid in training camp. I think they have a shot. Like, I think they want to make them practice squad guys. Jason Poe, I think, has a chance to be practice squad, although I feel like he could get snagged by someone. But Jordan Mason, specifically, if he gets cut, I don't think he clears waivers. There's no way. No way. Thoughts on Eric Davis? We'll get to that. I talked about it at the top of the show. I want to finish again with Eric Davis' situation at the end. I got a couple more notes. We did talk about the offensive line a little bit. That's a battle. We need to see who's going to solidify themselves on this O-line. You got 2 more games. I couldn't tell you right now who the clear-cut, guys on this line are. It's up and down. They're inconsistent. We know the starters, but who's going to be able to step up and be those reserve linemen? I think right now, if I had to choose, Colton McKivitz, Jordan Mills, Jalen Moore, if he's healthy, like those 3 guys pretty much make it. Dan Brunskill, those 4 guys are your depth pieces, and Jason Poe. Like, to me, those are your backup linemen on the offensive side. But it's a battle. It's a battle. I think we're going to see 1 or 2 linemen get cut this week. Sutherland and Skule might be hitting the bricks on Tuesday. We'll see. Ward will be ready for the season opener. That's what we hope for Gomez. Kyle Shanahan did say that he wants, to not rush things. He is in jeopardy of missing week 1. It is a hamstring. Those things should not be rushed. Could be 4 weeks. So I hope Jimmy Ward's ready by week 1. There's 2 games coming up, and then you have about 2 weeks before that first game. So there's plenty of time for him to rest up and get ready. But that's the type of injury you don't want to rush. If he's not 100% ready, you don't rush it and you let him miss a week, right? You have these guys like Quantrez Knight, you have Hufanga, you have George Odom, Tarvarius Moore, and Womack. Those guys are there to kind of step in and see what they have, right? You have, again, a battle this weekend. Tarvarius Moore and George Odom both have a lot to prove. Who's going to take that spot if Jimmy Ward can't play on week 1? So this is another important battle, the safety battle, right? Odom and Tarvarius Moore specifically, who can step in and be a starter. And then you got Crawley, the guy they signed a couple weeks ago when Leon O'Neal got hurt. I don't know. Will he be good enough to step in and stick to the roster? Again, roster cuts happen again Tuesday. 5 players will be cut. If you look bad this weekend, you might want to pack your bags. It's unfortunate to say, but Somebody's going to be packing their bags. 5 of them will be packing their bags. Bilo says, I think this week Mason will run through the Vikings preseason game. For Kobe says, Burford equals Anthony Davis. I hope that's a good thing, because Anthony Davis gets hurt all the time, and I don't want Burford to be hurt. Explain that to me. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because Anthony Davis in the NBA, the man's always hurt. Street clothes, Anthony Davis. You tell me if that's a good thing. I hope Burford's not. I mean, to me, he looks like he's been very good. Oh, man. 49er Jeff says, I'm side-eyeing Mike McGlinchey. He's looking fragile. You know, that's the thing, man. McGlinchey's coming into the season off a torn quad, and he's already dealing with knee issues. I'm not really optimistic. I've talked about that this week. It's definitely something I'm a little concerned about. I am concerned about it. Oh, Anthony Davis, the right tackle in the NFL. I saw your name as Kobe, so I figured it was an NBA comparison, but I got you now. We're good. We're on the good side. Yeah, you got to be talking about 49ers, Anthony Davis. You're right. I just saw he was Kobe. He's a basketball guy, so I thought he was talking about Anthony Davis from the NBA, and I was like, that's not a good thing. But Anthony Davis from the Niners was a beast when he played with the Niners. That guy was a bully. And you're right. I think Burford could be a bully like that. Good comparison. I like it. I mean, I was like, is he talking about the NBA Anthony Davis or the NFL Anthony Davis, right? Yeah, he had a picture of Kobe on his profile picture, so it threw me off a little bit. Anthony Davis quit on us. He did. But he went through some struggles mentally. You know, when he played, boy was a beast. He was a beast. How can we help with this page? Don't worry about it, sweetheart. I got to take care of it. I've been working on this solo. I appreciate everybody reaching out. And you know, if I ever have some things that you can do to contribute, would love it. You know, if you get some cool content, share it with me. But, you know, I run this page solo, and I think I've done a pretty decent job. So, but definitely something down in the future. If we get some opportunities as things continue to grow, we'll let you know. Let's see. We talked about all the players I wanted to talk about. Let's open it up to questions. There's been some rumors about, you know, things going on in the air. We'll talk about those. If you guys have any specific questions, now you're good, Kobe. You threw me off there. It was a good little segment. Yeah, open it up to questions. Like I said, let's see what you got to say. Appreciate you, Loco. Jalen Hurd was cut last year, and I have no clue where he's at. Appreciate the flowers, Debbie. Deadline for Jimmy G, I would say the 30th of August. If he doesn't get cut when they make those final roster cuts, his money's fully guaranteed, right? Fully guaranteed money for Jimmy G. I think that they're going to cut him. I don't think any team wants him. The Browns aren't going to take him. They're pretty much they're steady with Jacoby Brissett, the Brissinator. I think they're okay with him. And I think we talked about this yesterday. You know, Jimmy has a large price tag. It's 11 games. You don't want to take 11-game rental. You know, he's been throwing out there, but he hasn't played full contact. You know, he still would have to pick up the offense. He hasn't been able to pick up their playbook yet. If he were to go there, it'd be like totally last minute. Granted, he did come into the Niners and, you know, played 5 games and he picked up the offense, but they kind of had to make it a little simplified when he came in, and then he continued to grow and develop with it. But that'd be crazy. 11-game rental. I don't think it happens. I think Jimmy's going to get cut. Somebody might sign him. Yesterday we joked, right? There was the meme out there with the Seahawk fan holding the Jimmy G sign. Would he go to Seattle? Maybe, if we cut him. I think he goes to Seattle, maybe, or the Giants. I don't think we trade him at this point. I think he gets cut. The Slasher, what's your opinion on 3 games in 12 days? Never heard of such a thing. It's crazy to me. They're playing a lot of games, and that's why this week is very important that they don't play the starters. We can't get them hurt. We can't risk anybody getting hurt. I hope nobody that plays this weekend gets hurt. You know, cross your fingers. That's a grind. Shanahan talked about this several times these last couple weeks, and he says this is tough. 12 days, 3 games, and then they got 2 weeks off after that. It's a grind, and then you have 17 weeks of games. So this is definitely, man, a tough stretch. Preseason is not as, it's not what it used to be where you played 4 games, but they're condensing everything into a short amount of time, and I just hope that we stay healthy, because if we get hurt, it's gonna be ugly, man. To start the season, we've already got some soft tissue injuries, and I just pray that nobody else gets hurt. So definitely, it's crazy to me, but at the end of the day, it's a long season. I get it. They got to condense things. They got to move things along. So it's like, hey, we got to get through this. Try your best to keep these guys healthy, and that's why these practices are important. These joint practices for the starters, I think they really got a lot of good reps in, so they don't have to worry about playing this weekend, so they can, avoid injury. So definitely something to keep an eye on this weekend is making sure they don't get hurt. So my man Raj says, just ran 5 miles during your live. Thanks, bro. Yo, that's what we like to hear. Keep running during my live. That's good, man. Hopefully it was entertaining for you and kept you rolling, man. I appreciate you, bro. A fellow Raj. You know what? You were my boy, because you're also named Raj. We got to get a chat name or something going. We got to get a group name. As this page grows, we got to have members, because is eventually YouTube's going to let me have special memberships and emojis and stuff. So we got to get something cooking, right? The Bang Bang Niner Gang crew or something cool. The Street Fighters, the Juice Boxes. I don't know. Something cool. Think about it. Y'all let me know next time we go live. What could the name be? We got to have something cool. Y'all support me so much, and I appreciate you. I got to make sure we have something cool for the chat. So. Let's see. Let's get to some of these questions. Somebody was asking me about, I think Darth was asking me about Eric Davis. Does anybody know what's going on with Eric Davis? We talked about him at the beginning of the show, that we saw him on the sidelines of the the Seattle game. He's kind of hasn't talked to me or the Quad Box. We don't know what's going on. Does anybody know what's going on with Eric Davis? Does anybody know? The Juice Boxes, you like that one, Smitty, huh? The Juice Boxes, I like that one. He turned to the dark side. I don't know. Does anybody, Smitty, have you heard from Eric Davis? Did you reach out to him? Does anybody know what's going on with Eric Davis? I don't know. He was at the Seattle game on the sideline. I saw him talking to DK Metcalf. Is he trying to get a job? Is he trying to become a reporter on the sidelines with them? Is he trying to be a coach? I don't know. I don't know, man. He probably friends with someone on the Hawks. He could be. Oh, man. Maybe somebody says, hopefully Eric Davis is trying to convince Seattle to trade for Jimmy. Oh, man. Man, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to have to text him again. Hasn't answered me. Oh, man. Who's Eric Davis? Niner legend. Let's see. He looked like an advisor. Smitty says he looked like an advisor. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Smitty's crazy. He's on the YouTube and the Instagram chat. How the hell did Smitty's in 2 places at one time? Crazy. The Niner Squad Box. I like it. Let's take a look at some more of these questions. Let's get some more of these questions. Debo playing center. Can you imagine? Debo probably could play center. He could play center. Smitty says that Eric Davis is afraid to play him in tennis. If you guys don't remember the story a couple months ago, actually during the offseason, Smitty and Eric Davis agreed to play a tennis matchup, and there was a lot of hype. I was supposed to be the referee and call it, and we haven't heard from him. And we saw him on the sidelines of the Seahawks game. So, 49er Jeff says, who's quarterback 2? I think right now it's Nate Sudfeld. And Brock Purdy, though, he looked good against the backups, obviously. But I think it's Nate Sudfeld as your backup. But I think what Brock Purdy's playing for is to show that he can stay on this roster, And I don't think they want to keep him on the practice squad if he plays really good this weekend. But then again, it's 53 guys. You need to have depth at everywhere. It's, D-line, O-line. There's going to be a lot of D-linemen that are good that you don't want to cut. So D-line is going to be one of those positions where they have a lot. Maybe 10 players make the D-line. So it's definitely something. Will they keep it a quarterback, Brock Purdy, over one of their D-linemen? So that's a good question. I think Nate Sudfeld's QB2. So Robert Richards says, do you think Bosa will win Defensive Player of the Year? I hope so, and I think he has a good possibility of doing it. He's in the prime of his career. He's coming into the season absolutely healthy. Last year, he tore it up. He had one of the most insane seasons out of all the defensive pass rushers last year, coming off a torn ACL. Now he's in better shape, and he's just in his prime of his career. Defensive Player of the Year is definitely not out of the picture for Nick Bosa. Good question. I think he can. Do you guys think Nick Bosa's going to win Defensive Player of the Year? Do you think he has a chance? Let me know in the chat. I definitely think he does. What's the depth of Sermon injury? We don't know. It was speculation on Twitter that someone saw him limping to the locker room, and there hasn't been any confirmation, but there definitely is some speculation that Trey Sermon has an ankle injury, he looked like he was favoring his ankle. That's what we know. That's what was on Twitter. But it wasn't a reporter. It hasn't been confirmed. It's just speculation. My man Smitty just texted me. He says, does he want somebody still to come on? Hop in, Smitty. Come on the YouTube show. We're gonna invite Smitty on over. He'll talk with me for a few minutes. Maybe he could talk about Danny Gray and Trey Lance because he loves them so much. So, Smitty, if you're watching, hop on. We'll get you on the show, and then we'll end it that way. So, appreciate you guys for staying tuned. I say for sure he definitely deserved Comeback Player of the Year last year. Yeah, I think Bosa could have won that Comeback Player of the Year award. He deserved a lot more credit than he got last year. He didn't get much all-pro vote. They didn't give Bosa a lot of credit last year. I don't know. The media is biased towards Bosa, and he still gets held. You guys saw the picture in joint practice. In practice, the Vikings guy had him in a chokehold. He never gets that call. Not even in practice. Joe Burrow. Yeah, Joe Burrow definitely well-deserved comeback player. I mean, Joe Burrow was great. But I think Nick Bosa should have at least got a little bit more credit than he did last year. I feel like he didn't get much credit last year. Joe Burrow's a hell of a player. Took his team to the Super Bowl. Second year, ACL, quarterback. He's good. I got no hate on the guy. Let's see. I don't know if Smitty's hopping in here. Let me see. Maybe he is. Here he is. He's coming in. I think he's coming in. He is.
Oh, hey.
There he is.
Well,
There's
hey.
Smitty over here on YouTube. We got Smitty on YouTube. So let's check him out. My man, Smitty. What's good, everybody? I got questions over here on Instagram. We got questions. What do you got over here, Smitty?
It's a steak sandwich on a pretzel bun. I'm addicted to these things. I'm eating them once a day. Ziggy, studio on.
Smitty's eating a steak sandwich on YouTube with me right now. That's what's going on.
What's up?
Somebody said that Smitty's probably in the fast food line. Love Smitty. He's not in the fast food line.
Already got it.
He's got fast food on his.
No. Wait a minute. Is a gourmet steak sandwich with caramelized onions, tri-tip, mashed potatoes, and a pretzel bun considered fast food? I mean, if you cook that at home, would it? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you're right. It's good. It's quality. It's high quality. It's high quality.
What
Someone says,
about?
Joseph, he said that Smitty had one last night. Did you have one last night?
No, the day before, but I'm eating these about 3 or 4 times a week. I'm gonna wear it out like no other, bro. I'm just gonna.
Smitty, are your arteries okay? Are your arteries okay? Are your arteries okay?
We're fine. We're working out. We're doing push-ups every day. I'm gonna do 300 push-ups a day for the next.
Smitty, Mikey says that your intestines are caramelized.
But I'm eating a tri-tip steak sandwich though.
It's probably good. It looks amazing, Smitty. You know what? Somebody says in the chat that you need a food channel. I think you have a food YouTube, right?
My stories are a food channel, but
yeah,
I appreciate that. If I had the time, I'd make one.
Yeah, my man C-Max in the YouTube chat. What's up? He says it's almost game day. Yes, sir.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. We talked about pretty much everything previewing the game. You're my guest. Bring up a topic.
We're gonna talk about how ridiculous it is one moment, then not ridiculous, then less ridiculous, then okay, it's actually not ridiculous at all when I say things like Trey Lance will be king of the NFC. Now we're on this ridiculous Smitty's off his rocker. Danny Gray could be the number 2 wide receiver at the end of the season for the 49ers. It's ridiculous. Oh my God, Smitty's ridiculous. Like, what's he talking about now? That's slowly but surely turning out to be not as crazy. Next week, it'll be a little less crazy. The next week, less crazy. By week 4, exactly what I've heard you say already today is what I'm trying to emphasize is that his ability to do what no other wide receiver can do will put him in a position to be on the field more than anybody expects, like you mentioned, and that's going to lead to production. Like, what did I say before the game? He was capable of having two catches for 90 yards and a touchdown at any moment.
Yeah, he had 2 catches, and one of them was 76-yard touchdown.
Right. So, like I said that before the game. Like, this is a 2-catch, 90-yard guy. I'm not saying that's all he'll do. I'm saying that out of all the players on the team, he's capable of that. So
I agree. I mean, I see it. Like, and this is what I told my boy from Fantasy Couch. Like, the more I see it, the more I believe it, because it's Trey Lance developing that chemistry, and he has good chemistry with Trey. Like, Trey to Gray, it's a thing. In these games, this man's going to be wide fucking open, Smitty. You don't throw him the ball, you're going to look like an idiot. He's going to throw him the ball because Trey Lance has a cannon, and he's going to let it rip and get the highlight play, and everybody's going to be like, oh, my God. And then you have to cover Danny Gray, and that's just going to leave it to be everybody. It's just going to be a dynamic offense, Smitty, and he really can be a guy that gets 2 plays. And one of them is going to be a monster, like a deep 50-yard, 40. I'm not saying like every play is going to be a 30-yard bomb or something, but he's going to get a lot of deep plays. And if he can keep holding on to the ball, he's just going to rise up that roster.
Wide open Danny. I mean, that's why I call him that.
Always open, Danny.
Yeah, always open Danny. He's thank you for correcting my own nickname.
That's what we do.
I don't know, bro. Like, I know it sounds crazy to people, and this is not a knock on Ayuk, but Ayuk hasn't done it yet. Like, everyone's hoping he does or expecting he will. He's phenomenal. He's been hanging out with Trey. You know, they're best buddies. The rapport's there. He's the best route runner in the team. I hear it over and over and over, but the bottom line is it's not crazy to think that Danny Gray could leapfrog him. I'm just telling people that it's not crazy. Does everybody think it won't happen yet? Because everyone's so invested in Ayuk. They've been talking him up all offseason. I know he looks good. And I'm not saying that Ayuk's even the one that's going to get leapfrogged. You know, injury. I don't want to throw injury out there in the air, but it's you guys get banged up more than anybody. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the way you practice, the way the plays are drawn up, how aggressive you guys, your scheme.
I have a theory on that. This team is very physical, and we do practice. So when I was at practice, I said this a couple of days ago when I was covering the training camp practices, like, and then all these injuries started piling up, and then somebody's asking, why do these injuries happen? The Niners don't spend a lot of time stretching on the field. Like, they stretch super quick, and they go right into their installments, right into their drills. Like, they're quick. Like, they get into their stuff, like, really quick because I think they want to work on that stuff and spend more time on it and get their techniques down. But they skip through stretching pretty fast. Like,
why don't you?
It wasn't it was like a very fast, brief moment of stretching, and I remember noticing that. I was like, they don't stretch a lot. Like, again, I don't know what another team does because I haven't been to another training camp, but to me, in my mind, because I've worked in this, in healthcare and rehab and stuff, I just feel like they don't spend enough time stretching. I used to be an athletic trainer, and I just was like, man, I remember spending more time stretching.
Maybe you need to send a text, bro, on that. Be like, hey, just want to let you know I don't think you stretch, bro.
Yeah.
Send Prague a little message.
Maybe they need to stretch. Yo, let's talk about Brandon Ayuk from last night. Did you hear his press conference? So real quick though, King Chris, my man Chris, says you can't double anybody on this offense. You can't double team up because Danny Gray's gonna be open. But last night, go ahead.
I would say not only because of the wide receivers, but now because of Trey, you can't double anybody. You're going to be spying Trey. You're going to be worried about where Trey's at on the field. That alone makes it impossible to double team. But now you got Danny Gray on the field, and he is on the field. Let's make no mistake about it. Sorry, I'm getting that jersey because Jennings isn't getting the production that you guys wanted him to get because Danny Gray won't let him. Danny Gray won't let him. So you can't double anybody. And Danny Gray is going to be the benefactor. That's what I'm saying. Like, even as a wide receiver 3, even if he doesn't leapfrog Ayuk in the lineup, I'm not saying he's going to do that. He's going to be just so open all the time that 2-3 catches is going to be.
It's going to add up.
Like
it's going to add up.
900 yards and 7-8 touchdowns will be disappointing to me.
900 yards, though?
Yeah.
I don't know about 900 yards, Smitty. But you're right. It does add up. Like a big play here and there adds up. But
hey, one more thing. He will have 2 games this year, at least 2 games where he has over 140 yards receiving.
Wow. I think you're right, though. I think it's easy money. If he gets like an 80-yard bomb and then like another big 20, like it can happen, Smitty. I don't think it's out of this possibility. Couple questions here. My man Mikey says, and am I crazy in saying that the media and the team was just raving about Ayuk's development this season so far? Like, I think, and there's a couple comments on YouTube, like people are saying, I love Ayuk, but he has to realize he's not the only one on the team. Like, it does feel like Ayuk's been getting all the credit, and people are forgetting. Like, and I said this before, like Debo is kind of underrated. He's kind of under the radar, which is weird. Signed a 3-year, $71 million contract, and everybody's still talking about Brandon Ayuk, right? And we got Danny Gray, who's kind of developing now, and then you got George Kittle, who people have kind of forgot too. I know Brandon Ayuk's going to have a hell of a season, but I feel like that's what everybody's talking about. Like, for a while, he was the only one we were talking about.
Brandon Ayuk, okay, just to put this in perspective, because I know a lot of people get mad at me here when I say Danny Gray might outperform him this year. Brandon Ayuk, 2020, good rookie year, but he had 748 yards. Okay, it's not like he blew the top off or anything. 748 yards, really good. They used him, running the ball a lot. 5 touchdowns.
But he had running yards too. Yeah.
5 touchdowns, 748 yards. Last year, 826 yards, 5 touchdowns. Okay, like those are good numbers, but when I say something like Danny Gray could be better than him this year and people get crazy, what are they getting crazy from? There's no statistical proof that this is going to absolutely be Ayuk's, team. I just think watch Danny Gray slowly sell people on the idea. I'm telling you, it's going to be gradual. Same thing with Trey. It was like, you can't call Trey this king of the NFC top 5 QB. He hasn't even played a snap yet other than the 2 game. Like, yeah, you can say it. It's called a predictive type of thing, right? And I'm telling you, Danny Gray is going to, in the same way that Trey slowly reel people into thinking, you know what, never mind, this could happen. Danny Gray's going to do it. Danny Gray's special. He's special. I'm not saying Ayuk's not special, but Ayuk has never had more than 800 something yards. He hasn't proven it yet. Danny Gray could have 900 yards as a rookie.
And I think Ayuk, I think the thing is with the way that Ayuk came into camp, because he came in a lot different than he did last year, right? We've talked about it, how last year I think someone in the comments said, he has to realize he's not the only one on the team. Like, I think last year he came in and he had that vibe, like, I'm so good, I don't need to work. Like, I think he had a realization of, okay, there's expectations Kyle needs. Like, I need to step up. I need to work on this. He came in. He looks like a different person this offseason. He looks, stronger. He has the chemistry with Trey Lance, and it's a different quarterback. He didn't vibe well with Jimmy. Like, he just didn't have that connection. Him and Trey have a good connection, and I think because of that, I think that's what everybody expects Ayuk to have a monster year. Like, him and Trey have phenomenal connection. Like, I think when it's a pressure situation and Trey needs a guy to go to, I think what everybody's kind of looking at it after this training camp is that's going to be his go-to guy. Like, his go-to, if he's in a dire situation, he's going to look at get Ayuk. And I see what you're saying. Like, Danny Gray is going to get production because he's going to be open. But I think Brandon Ayuk has this chemistry with Trey, and everybody's expecting him to explode. But you can't forget about Debo because he's still the key to this offense. He's the wide back. He's going to get carries out of the backfield. On the edge, he's going to do his wide back stuff over the middle. Debo's going to get a lot of production too. And that's Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan's offense is so dynamic. Like, Ayuk can get his.
Design plays.
The design plays. They're going to design plays for Debo. But there's also that threat of the deep pass. And I think Ayuk can benefit from deep passes because he wasn't utilized the way he should have been utilized over the last 2 years with Jimmy. Like, he kind of, low-key, that first year Brandon Ayuk was on the team, he was like a wide back. He played out, he did run and all that good stuff. He had a lot of those types of plays. So, ultimately, I don't disagree with you saying that Danny Gray can have a big season and climb up this ranking. I just don't think that he's going to be more productive than Ayuk for the simple fact that Ayuk and Brandon Ayuk and Trey Lance have this chemistry, and I think it's going to continue to spill over into the season. But I do think that Danny Gray is going to have a better season than a lot of people are really thinking about. But there's so many mouths to feed, Smitty.
Here's the thing. There's certain offenses where the third wide receiver could be the best wide receiver on the team. Like, people need to understand that this is that offense. I'm not saying Gray's going to beat out Debo. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the third wide receiver could be so ultra productive. They could at any moment be, the guy that ends up having, I don't want to say the most yards at the end of the year, but like any given game could be the number one wide receiver in that game as the third wide receiver. You can't double team Danny Gray. Like, even if you wanted to, let's say Danny Gray had 2 straight monster games. How are you going to double team him? You really going to leave? You're going to double team him over Debo? Not all year long. No one's going to do that. Maybe if Danny Gray proved it all year and it came into another season, that's when defenses adjusted, that kind of thing. But doesn't matter if he has a big blow up game. He's going to see the same kind of coverage. He's going to see the worst coverage, the worst defensive back, or they're going to have somebody like different on him all the time, so no one's going to even get used to covering him like you would. Like, Debo's going to face like potentially the same coverage or the same corner or the same whatever. Like, Danny Gray's going to be all over the field, so it's going to be hard to get to know him. And I know the rapport thing's big, right? But at the same time, if Danny Gray's open all the time, that's better rapport than than anybody else has with Trey, because wide open rapport is the best rapport known to man. This guy's gonna be standing there like crossing the field,
and that's the thing. If he's wide open,
the only guy going deep.
If he's wide open, you have to throw it to him. Like, Trey, he goes through his progressions, and that's what I love about Trey. He's got good pocket awareness, and he goes through his progressions. If he's checking he's gonna be like, "Are you kidding me?" And that's what he did on Friday. Like, he went through it, and he knew Gray would be right there. You could just, like he said, he goes, "I knew the play. I knew Gray, if he has a step on his man, he's gonna be where I need him." And he right in the bucket. And in the bucket, Smitty.
And what happens when you let's do this real quick. What happens when you let's see if I can do this upside down. But what happens when you do this on the field, Raj? You've got Trey right here. He's scrambling around. You've got Danny Gray going down the field and stretching the defense out. What happens now? Instead of Debo getting the ball at the line of scrimmage, this guy's cutting like 7-yard slant, whatever. He's going to be wide open in the middle of the field. Danny Gray is going to be so responsible for stretching the defense. That's why he's important. That's why I say he's going to be on the field more than anybody thinks, because Shanahan's going to want to stretch the field now. He's going to want to stretch the field. If he takes Danny Gray off the field, he can't stretch the defense even more than it's already going to be spread out because of Trey Lance being on the field. Like, you know why Kurt Warner's offenses were so wide open all the time? Just the greatest show on turf, quick release, and so many weapons all over the field going all over. The defense had to follow those weapons downfield. They stretched it out. Everyone was wide open all the time. It was like 15-yard slant. It was like 19-yard slant across the field.
Crazy.
Everyone was wide open.
It's going to be a fun offense.
Yeah, in a similar fashion, Trey Lance alone makes some of that happen. Danny Gray makes some of that happen. Then everything's completely spread out, and it's going to be open. Everyone's going to look open. It's going to look so much different than the Jimmy G offense, where it's a tight window, hospital ball. Here, come up and grab this hospital ball. Let me try and fit it in there. It's going to be completely spread out, and it's going to look weird. It's going to look so much different than you expect. It's going to be a spread out attack. It's going to be phenomenal.
It's definitely going to be something to keep, everybody. I think you're Danny Gray's agent now, Smitty. A couple things I want to touch on because there's a couple questions I need to hit him. I'll get to those. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. The way this offense is, I mean, he's just going to be in a perfect position almost every time. It's going to be exciting. Real quick, Fantasy Couch says, I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel. Well, now you do. Go follow it. Subscribe to the page. We got 3K. Thank you, guys. We got 3K subscribers in 2 months. I love you. Global last night had a classic live. So if you guys are big time followers of me and Smitty, like there's a guy in the comments, Global Freeze, and he always has some stuff to say. He's an opinionated guy. We all have opinions. Him and Smitty go back and forth in the comments. I guess I was in the, we were live, and then I left because I had to make dinner. But he came on, and you and my man Global went toe to toe. You were spicy last night. That was fun. I'll let you talk about it. But the other question, I got a few questions. I want to answer these, and I'll let you get back to the Global issue. Mikey says, anyone key in on Tarvarius Moore struggling in man-to-man coverage? Hope he's just rusty. We talked about that last week. Definitely something to keep an eye on moving forward because, again, we did say the safety position is a battle right now, especially with Jimmy Ward hurt. You got Hufanga, George Odom, Tarvarius Moore. This is definitely something. Keep an eye on that this week. That's a battle. That's a roster battle. Hopefully Tarvarius Moore was just rusty. He did look good in camp, but coming off a torn Achilles game situation is a lot different than practice situation, right? Let's see there was another question I want to get to out here. Let me see if I can find it. Who's the kick return and punt returner? I mean, your return man's going to be Ray McLeod, and we didn't even talk about Ray. This is a good player that I think is going to be a solid return man, an extra little weapon that Shanahan can scheme in the offense, but he's your major return man. But that's another question because he's not going to be the only guy returning. There was other guys in training camp that were working on fielding punts. Danny Gray worked on punt returns. Trey Sermon, they had Jermichael Hasty. And a guy like Jermichael Hasty could make this final roster because he does have special teams availability. Malik Turner, wide receiver, he has special teams availability on this team. Those guys could kind of make it as backup return man. But your primary return guy is Ray McLeod. So I wanted to get those questions out of the way. But back to you, the last thing we'll talk about. Last night, you and Global went toe-to-toe about Trey Lance, was it? Go ahead, tell your side of the story.
I don't even know if you want to call it toe-to-toe. It was basically him coming on and looking silly because he's always in the chat. Like, let me first give him his flowers. He's as much as like we're like, we go after him, he's always ready to come back and like try and support us. So like I'll give him that credit. Okay. So thank you, Global, for being loyal to the bone. But this guy is literally, no matter what I'm saying, I'm like, Trey Lance, people are already coming back around. And he's a Niner fan, supposedly, right? Is immediately all capital letters. He's always like, he hasn't even proven anything yet. He's always ripping on him. He's always ripping on Trey. He's always ripping on all the positive talk. You can't say that. He hasn't started yet. You can't say that about him. You can't call him king of the NFC. I can call him whatever I want. I did say he's king of the NFC. I'm going to continue to say he's king of the NFC. This is Raj's show. I can say it on my show. I'll say whatever I want. Trey Lance is a top 5-6 quarterback in the NFL. And anybody that doesn't want to get on board will get on board later. But guess what? So what I started doing is I said, drop the little ticket emoji in the chat. And so if anybody in here, like, let's do it right now in Instagram. If you're on the Trey Lance train, I want you to drop the ticket emoji right now. We're going to either let you on or off. And if I don't recognize somebody that hasn't been here from the beginning, we're going to deny you access. Your ticket does not work. It's not valid. So he raises his hand and throws a ticket out. I'm like, you can't throw a ticket out. You're the biggest Trey Lance hater I know. He's not even like a non-supporter. He's a Trey Lance hater. So I just
love it.
Denied. Like here, let's look at the IG. Dino, you're in. Chill.
They're dropping tickets, Smitty. They're dropping tickets. You know what?
Class.
You got the chat dropping their tickets to
King.
the Trey Lance hype
King,
train.
First class, King. You're in first class. About the bag sauce. I don't know. Good name. You're in first class. Like, I can tell from a mile away if someone has an original ticket for the Trey Lance train. Don't be bringing this fake, printed out on your computer ticket later because you're trying to get in. It's insane. We ain't letting you on. You got to show your ticket.
Smitty,
we'll know if it's real.
Real quick, Smitty. Alex wants to know how much are tickets. Are they still on sale?
No. No, you either this is like Bitcoin. There's a finite amount of tickets out there. You either have one, you either got one in the beginning. You can't come around and try and purchase a ticket now. You out of your mind? This train's full. It's already full.
You got a counterfeit.
Yeah. Insane.
Insane.
Look at all these people. They're giving their tickets, Raj. They know these are all legit tickets for the most part. I can tell.
Fucking counterfeit tickets, man.
I know.
A lot of the media switching up. They got counterfeit tickets to the Trey train. They got counterfeit tickets, my man. Oh,
you know who doesn't have a ticket? Rombo. He's gonna show up.
Rombo does not have a ticket. Rombo does not have a ticket, bro.
He can climb on the back. You know how people hop on the back of the train?
He's gonna like hang on.
Yeah, we'll let Rombo. We'll send a waitress out there to get his drink order or whatever, but he ain't coming inside. I don't care how cold it is. You know, him and Global will be on the back becoming buddies. You know, Rombo, you're a good guy. And whatever.
Shit, man. They have ticket fatigue. Yo, this Trey Lance, you know what? If you don't have your ticket from the beginning, you definitely shouldn't be on the train. You know what, Smitty? You gotta love Smitty, man. This guy, he was on the Trey Lance hype before anybody was. He called Trey Lance to the Niners, and he called Brandon Ayuk to the Niners. It's crazy, Smitty. I gotta give you your flowers for that. You've had the original ticket. You remember that movie? You got the golden ticket. Smitty had the golden ticket. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's Smitty and the Trey Lance Factory. He got the golden ticket.
Yeah, and hold on 1 second. I think I just messed up with my. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I could.
Sorry. So right here, I don't know if you guys can see this. I don't think you can zoom into it, but right here, Raj. March 3rd. March 3rd. Trey Lance, question mark, obviously, because we don't know where he's going, what's going on. March 3rd, before the draft, Trey Lance, number 5. Fantasy quarterback.
You've been tooting the horn.
And I got Learn that comes in a lot, and I love Learn. Learn's my boy, but Learn's like, Smitty, I was on Trey before you. Don't try and act like you're the original. Like,
no, but you are. My man Chris in the chat says Smitty has conducted this train for 2 years. You've been conducting the train for 2 years. Train conductor Smitty.
Get a pump
we love
in.
Trey Lance.
We're ready to go.
Let's go, baby. Trey area. Any last comments, questions, concerns?
No, I don't think so. Let me switch over here. Hold on 1 second.
Smitty, why is it so dark? Eric wants to know.
Why is it so dark? Where?
In your room.
Because we got the candlelight going.
You got the candle. It's candlelit vibes. I like the vibes.
Why do they
hate the vibes? I like
That's
the vibes.
the den over there. That's the den. I built a den in the corner.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Smitty got a dope little setup, man. Why are you hating?
Yeah,
you know what? You're the conductor of the Trey Lance hype train. You can do whatever you want.
You're gonna complain about the studio, the pad, bro? That's a nice
studio.
I've got the den over here. We got the fireplace. We got the workout facility when we get pumped and Trey Lance is getting the football.
Smitty doing a whole ass push-up over here on YouTube.
All right, I got to get ready for my YouTube. My YouTube show starts in 4 minutes.
You got 4 minutes. So now that my show's ended, y'all go tune into Smitty. He's got his show in 4 minutes. This guy's show is amazing. Go check out my boy Smitty. Let's run him up. Let's get him 100 off the bat. Let's go tune into Smitty's show. He came into my show. Great guest. We love him. I appreciate the support over here on Instagram and YouTube. Appreciate all the subscribers. Yo, man, 3K subscribers. I can't say I thank you enough. Let's run it up. Let's keep working on big things. Thank you, Smitty, for hopping in today. And I'm going to end and hop on and watch you on YouTube, my man.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right, take care. All my people
to find you as well. Congrats on the 3,000. I mean, that's a quick climb, bro. 3,000?
You know the vibes. We just grinding, man.
3,000. That's the fastest I've seen that. All right, man.
Appreciate you. You know what? Later. You helped a lot with it. I'll tell you what. Yo, everybody go follow the Fantasy Football Show on YouTube, man. This guy grinds. Take care, Smitty.
Let's go. All right, later.
All right, take care. That's it. That's it for both streams. I love you guys. I hope you guys had a good little entertaining hour. It was about a little bit over an hour and 14 minutes clocked in. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. We'll be back tomorrow, game time. We, let's see how it goes. Appreciate the support. Love you. Have a good rest of your day. Bang, bang. Not again.